was like crazy. We had like a whole bunch of people. Um, so you've been talking to people who struggle with depression and anxiety, and your whole thing with you are not alone. It's a website and it's a blog, right? Right.
It's a it's a charity organization that provides mental health care, and we also work a lot with females entrepreneurs and children. We also work globally too as well. But our main focus is mental health care and really supporting female entrepreneurs and military.
Yeah. So that's really cool. We've really had a lot of people with this virus being so closed. So like you talked to a lot of people and helped a lot, right? So like so what is your experience with that?
Yeah, of course. I'm a clinician and like a psychotherapist, in the mental health world. And, I think it varies. Some individuals have a lot of fear. And so I think just implementing a lot of coping skills and really trying to normalize and really reminding them that this is the new norm. Wearing a mask and making sure that they are socially distanced and and just to be really safe, but at the same time they can't live in fear. They still need to continue to live their life. So
Yeah, I mean, and so Christmas was very difficult for people, I think, because of COVID. You know, being around people. I mean, there was such a huge rise. Is there any like mental tips you want to give to people who?
well, I think the biggest thing is, again, is being aware that this is kind of the new norm, that COVID is not going away. It's actually going to be something that is going to be, again, it's going to be part of our culture. It's going to be part of our system. And it's almost like every year you go get a flu shot, every year you probably need to go get a COVID shot, a booster shot. And it's going to be around for a while because there's, the virus mutates. It used to be the Delta that it mutated into, and then now it's the Omicron. So it's, again, the tip that I always say is just to make sure to, be safe, wear a mask and socially distance, but at the same time, continue on with your life and not to, like I said, not to live in fear.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, do you? I found myself during the during this time of year, finding myself playing online video gaming. So, like with people with social anxiety, depression, what would you say to people who like want to help, who are like socializing but don't socialize? Do you really think video gaming has really helped a lot of people with that, with those issues, being stuck, scared of going out?
No,
Um,
I think video game is, sometimes it's a good, self care for a short limit of time. But no, I do not think that it does help with social anxiety. And no, I don't think that it helps with interaction skills. I think anytime that you sit in front of a TV for hours, it actually does the opposite, and it increases anxiety and increases depression.
yeah, I actually, what I do, excuse me, is I like do, like sometimes if I don't feel like video gaming, I'll get off and be like, okay, I need to step back. Because you go on it for so long and it really strings on your mental health. But I do see sometimes video gaming, like it was really hard for me to see that what you're saying in 2020? Like, could you really see a lot of people having issues seeing it as like a, well, like, I don't know, a mental block, but like,
Yeah, I mean, anytime you take away socialization and force people into isolation, you're going to see mental health issues because humanistically, human beings are not meant to isolate for long periods of time. And you're going to see, I mean, drawbacks from it. You're going to see consequences from it. And the issue is mental health issues, and so in 2020, the mental health, industry has increased dramatically. It increased for us. We had more patients coming in because of, the isolation and the increase in anxiety and depression. And video gaming, became really popular. Things became, anything online became really popular. But like I said, video game, yeah, is a double-edged sword here. I mean, it's great just to kind of, unwind and unplug, but what happens is that it gets very addicting, and people will be gaming for about out like, like 8 hours a day at times, and it's not really good for your brain at all, because those are not natural, interactions. I mean, yes, you are looking at a screen, but it does cause anxiety and increase in depression when you're gaming for those long periods of time.
yeah, I was gaming so much that my anxiety was stringing. Like, I needed a break. So I have been writing a lot. I wrote so much stories. I wrote stories. Um, because during COVID, I connected with other people. I reconnected with old schoolmates. I reconnected with old ha- um, peers, and it was so fun connecting with them because I got away from video gaming. Even though we did video game.
Yeah, I think that the plus size of COVID is that it slowed everything down. And, I mean, and family was able to spend more time together. They were working from home, there was more interactions. So, so the plus size of this is that it also slowed everything down, and it made individuals, to be able to interact with their loved ones more. But then there's the flip side where, there was also a high divorce rate, and there's also a high domestic violence and child abuse so going on in 2020.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, because so many kids,
Are at home, and so, and
parents are
are,
being, I don't know if I
yeah, so
want
there.
to negligent, but I've had my fair share of child abuse, but not with during 2020 with COVID. But yeah, I code with all those past issues into stories, expressing that. So, what do you say about writing? Like,
Yeah, writing anything, any, other outlets. Like I said, I mean, when you talk about video gaming, it can, it can be a positive thing, but most of the time it gets very addicting, and so it becomes a negative coping skill. But writing, interacting, reaching out to your friends, and, talking to them is great. Writing is a great outlet because, it ignites your frontal lobe, and it gets you thinking a little bit more in a healthier way, so that's a positive thing. There's other things such as journaling, such as drawing, such as, painting, whatever it is that's going to exercise that, and force your brain to really, stay, active, because it's all about mental agility, and then also, making sure that you incorporate, exercise and eating healthy and getting adequate sleep.
yeah, I grew up with a lot of anxiety on my life. Depression came like during the teenage years, I think, because I was bullied a lot. So, so with COVID, there's been a lot of reports of child abuse and just insane rates. So, what are your advice to people who struggle with that?
Well, I mean, with individuals who are being abused, you need to reach out for help, or remove yourself from that situation if you're over 18. And if you're a minor, like I said, I mean, you need to tell an adult and let them know what's going on. For anybody who's gone through child abuse, and is still experiencing some form of abuse, then you need to remove yourself from that situation and get help. You need to seek therapy and work through those trauma.
Yeah, I mean, I myself grew up with a lot of abuse, so I've coped with that with writing. Like,
And that's fine. Have you been in therapy, Corey?
I'm in counseling, um, or therapy, yeah, therapy. And it really has helped me with my social anxiety. It has helped me through the issues that I've had, also in the past. Because I think a lot of time there could be a lot of triggers, like with COVID. You're stuck in the house, so what do when you're stuck? You reflect a lot of what you've been through, and in a lot of ways, when you're stuck in the house, it triggers maybe child abuse memories, or maybe reflects a lot of people with social anxiety and depression issues. So, I really coiled that into my stories, into writing. So, like, have you seen people with writing have their mental health boost up or down? I forget what, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, our mood is going to change daily. I mean, it's normal for us to feel sad. It's normal for us to feel angry. It's normal for us to feel happy and joy and things like that. Those are normal emotions. And so it's going to fluctuate, in and out. But if you're sad for long periods of time, it's not healthy. If you're angry for long periods of time, it's not healthy. And so those are things, anger, especially for men, it comes from trauma. And so those are things, that we need to work on. If those recurring events, and especially any form of abuse, comes up for you, then you need to address it in therapy.
Yeah, and so what do you think of people who so anything you want to bring up or talk about
I think the most important
during
thing right now, with our charity is being able to, educate and empower, others to be able to live a healthy, balanced life. And that includes getting adequate sleep, making sure they're getting adequate exercise, making sure that they are, you know, um, so exercise, eating, and also, I mean, and sleeping. And so those are three important things. And then the other factor is, making sure that if you're feeling sad or feeling anxious, that it's okay for you to seek help. It's okay for you not to be okay, and really, know that it's okay that you can ask for help, and know that it's okay for you to talk about your emotions and your feelings to the right individuals to get the support that you need.
yeah, I've talked to people a lot, like, so yeah, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Because I honestly, I think my brain is kind of like not tired, but I don't know what else, other thing else to say. Because you're not into Star Wars, you're clearly not into superheroes. Because I do sometimes ask, like, how do you see superheroes and, like, maybe Star Wars, or as
Well,
like a way to
if
see
you're
good
looking
and
if you're looking
evil?
at the theme of superheroes, I mean, the thing is, I mean, we ourselves are our own superheroes, and we are not always going to be picture perfect. And so, in order for us to be better individuals and be the best version, just like superheroes, we need to make sure that we need to take care of our mental health.
Yeah, I myself um did superheroes, that symbolic reference to heroes, heroes that are good but have flaws. Damn it, Stan Lee said something. Do you know Stan Lee? He's the guy who created Marvel Studios. So, oh, damn it, what you said reminded me of something that he said.
Well, it's almost like, even with Spider-Man, the saying is, with with great power, you have great responsibility. And, if you really want to turn that around, and really just saying, we ourselves have a lot of power and we have a lot of control within ourselves, and so, in order to be the best version that we can be, we need to, pick healthy choices for ourselves, and we need to be good role models for other individuals, because we also have a responsibility, especially for young children and teens. And so, and to be able to, have those responsibility, you also need to learn to be vulnerable and ask for help when you need it.
Yeah, that is true, very very true, and you really need to think about like, what hero do I want to be? Spider-Man, Peter Parker was not an excellent superhero. He had many flaws. He was technically an orphan, um, foster child who his Aunt
Yeah,
May
and
took care of
and
him.
and yeah, and he's gone through everything. Like I said, he was bullied. He wasn't a popular kid. And so, he was kind of nerdy in his own way. He really liked this girl, MJ, and so, and he's gone through everything. Everybody has gone through, just fear based, falling in love. Having a crush on a girl, making friends, and so, but at the same time, he is Spider-Man, and he has a lot of power. And the saying goes that when you have a lot of power, you do have a lot of accountability and a lot of responsibility. And so that needs to look within ourselves too as well.
And people in social media.
We're all superhero. We can all be superheroes, but the most important thing is that we need to take care of ourselves. And Peter Parker is not perfect. So is Superman, and so that we're going to have flaws. We're imperfectly perfect.
Mm,
And so, and we can, but we can do our best to, be the best version that we can be by staying healthy
well, technically, I'm
mentally.
not a huge fan of Superman, but I do see maybe a great flawed character is the Flash. I don't know if you watch the CW, do you?
Yeah.
So he lost his mom. Um, he has this great power, and yet he's um a what a he's a crimes analyst, isn't he? And he goes through life same as everyone, and he fell in love, and yet through all the trauma that he's been through, the Flash was is someone very much like us, like everyday lives. And I love the superhero genre where not every hero is perfect, and and if you think about it, a lot of the villains that are put in these situations are um I don't know if you play video games, but Dr. Octopus had ALS or Alzheimer. not Alzheimer's disease, but he had something where his bones couldn't function right. I think I forget what illness it is. It was in.
Well, it's probably Parkinson's disease.
That's it, Parkinson's disease. And this is a video game actually, in Spider-Man, the video game. So even though you see a lot of heroes be the better themselves, these villains, they have I don't know if the MCU has, but they have a lot of good arguments you see throughout their lives. You understand, and I love how there's people out there that are looking at and saying, maybe he's this guy who didn't have a lot, And I think villains are a good argument of what we could have done altered, like gone the wrong route. And so instead of in the video game, Spider-Man tried to help Dr. Octopus, even though he knew it was his dear friend and mentor. So I love how... So do you see a lot of villains be symbolic, or heroes be symbolic to our everyday people?
Yeah, of course.
Politics. Like I saw, I don't know if you play video games, but there was an Avengers game, and AIM. I saw a lot of reflection as politics, the corruption of politics, the corruption of police force, where Black Lives Matter is being struggled at, AIM is aiming against. So I've seen a lot of that going on. And I really loved how but heroes have done that. And did you see do you see any examples of politics in the superhero world?
Well, if you're looking in the superhero world, I mean, some of the politicians or politics definitely can look as though that it's more on the villain side, because a lot of times it's just not working for the people.
Well, do you see it as a perfect coping mechanism to see these people that we see in the politics?
We look at, I don't know what you're getting at, but, we look at politics as though there are politicians and politics as, kind of like our guide, kind of like our roadmap. And a lot of times it's also not, there's flaws in there too as well, and if you really want to turn that into looking at more like, superheroes versus villain, yeah, absolutely. It's, like a lot of the politics that goes on, it's just not healthy for people. It causes a lot more drama. And so
it was very hard in 2020 to not pay attention to that.
Yeah, and and people were glued to social media and things like that, and it's just an increased more fear. So the politics is supposed to be there to help people to regulate rules and laws, but a lot of times, like I said, 2020 was really hard. And it's hard, yeah, because people want to know what's going on, and so they're glued to the TV, and again causes more mental health issues. So with that being said, again, it's not a perfect world. There's flaws, regardless whether you're superheroes or you're part of the Star Wars, paradigm here. It's just, again, we're all imperfectly perfect, and we really need to be our best version of ourselves by making healthy choices. And because we have great responsibility within ourselves, and then also to be good role models for others.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and I gotta hop off right now.
Yeah, but thank you for taking your time. I'm so sorry for the little inconvenience. I am going to try to get a new headset. but
No
it's just
worries.
been so rainy and it's so crappy out. It's like hard to go for a walk. You know.
No, you're completely okay. You're fine. Is this a podcast that you're doing, or is it just,
I'll send you the video once it's uploaded. It's on YouTube.
are you recording on Zoom right now? Are you recording on Zoom or
Yeah, I'm
on your phone?
recording.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Do you go through and do your editing, or do you just,
I go through do my editing. It'll probably be post later in the on my YouTube channel. I'll send you the video once it's done.
yeah, absolutely.
I had a little audio problem. Like I said, I need a new headset because I was using my PlayStation. And I didn't know. I was a little confused, so I'm actually recording on my phone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll
No,
be
no worries.
posted,
No
and I'm
worries.
really
I completely, yeah. No worries. And thank you again, Corey, and best of luck with everything with your podcast, okay?
yeah. And again, I also want to say if you ever want to be open about talking about something, um, or anything like that, please contact me and we could talk about it either on my podcast or just in general
Sure.
talk.
All right. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Corey. I'm gonna hop off right now, but thank you again. I really appreciate your time too as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.